Marxist thinking.
I'm dedicated to it. I can't be stopped. When I was a little boy, I had my favorite toys, had my favorite puppy dogs, like other girls and boys. But I had a bow and arrow, and I'd take it down to my woods. My mama smiled and waved at me. She was proud I was doing good. Then I grew up into this world, and I watched the people change. I watched the cities kill their souls. I started feeling strange. So I would grab my bow and arrow, and I'd head back to my woods. I found the straight and narrow. Damn sure I was doing good. So when I see a little boy or a little girl who looks a little out of place, I take them by the hand into the wild, see a smile come across their face, because here we feel alive and free, our spirit rising high. They find the spirit of the wild, and they're gonna celebrate it to the day they die. With my bow and arrow. Hey, everybody, what a great song. I had not planned on doing that song, but I don't plan much. I don't come prepared. Well, Nugent doesn't get prepared. No, I'm prepared. I've spent my life getting prepared. By the way, my RAV team, the RAV laptop, Barack. Welcome back to the Spirit Campfire. The RAV laptop is not laptopping, Barack. But anyhow, segment 3, as we just celebrated Independence Day. Don't you celebrate Independence Day every day? I get kind of verbose. Have you noticed that I get verbose? I have a big mouth, which, by the way, take a good look. You know, if I had a little bit of sleep, I'd be downright good looking. But you're going to have to settle for this. Now, I'm not settling for this. I'm going to continue to cultivate my life, liberty, and pursuit of gonzo happiness. And I accomplish that by being unafraid and standing up for God's miraculous creation and my duty to participate, especially the gift of the experiment in self-government. Are you a hellraiser with your elected employees? We've talked about this a lot. Thank God for Keith Mark, the founder of HunterNation.org. Put HunterNation.org. You got to join us. The enemy isn't killing America. Conservatives that are not engaged in their duties to experiment self-government, the conservatives that don't vote, have bent over, grabbed ankles, dropped trow, and spread cheeks for the toilet flushing Democrats to eat our ass. So please go to HunterNation.org, and you've got to vote the family values that created the greatest quality of life in the world. And that doesn't mean fat, perverted men twerking their balls to little boys and girls singing "It Won't Lick Itself" as a harmless activity. That's insanity. Our leadership is insane. Our leadership hates good and cultivates evil. Well, what does that mean, Ted? Well, you know, letting men pretending to be women destroying women's athletic records, that would be evil. Letting boys pretend to be girls to go into the girls' locker room and rape them, that would be evil. Men pretending to be women going into all women's penitentiaries and impregnating the women while they're claiming that they're not a man, but they still have a penis. Yikes. There is a segment of our society and culture that has lost its ever-loving soul. So I have a First Amendment. And you know what? I have a First Amendment wherever I may roam. When I'm in Europe, First Amendment. I'm not going back to Europe. Too long of a flight. I don't take long flights. I think driving to Sunrise Acres just 6 miles down the road is a pain in the ass. But anyhow, I have a First Amendment wherever I may roam while I'm alive without a permit. I don't need a license or anybody's authorization for my First Amendment. It's from God. No man can go, you know that First Amendment you have from God, I need to authorize that. Oh, shut the f up. I don't need any man to authorize my God-given gifts. Let's move on to the Second Amendment now, shall we? My name is Ted Nugent. I have the right, and in fact do, keep and bear arms wherever I may roam while I'm alive, and I don't need another man going, here, let me give you a permit for that. Shut the f up. I don't need your license or permit or authorization for my God-given rights. Who in God's name, literally, do you think you are intervening between God's gift individual rights and my celebration, participation, execution thereof? Yikes. Now, we did have on the screen, we have an Ask Ted. Is there an Ask Ted at America's News? What is that address again? People want to ask me a question. Ask Ted. What is that address? Ask Ted at Real America Voice. No, I don't know what it is. Anyhow, from Colette M. Colette, what a great name, Colette. I bet she is sexy. 1, how and who would I approach in Hendry County, Florida, about making sure that proofs of citizenship would be necessary to vote? What a question. 2, your wife fires 30 pounds. Oh, I see. Yeah, we've had this one before, but this is important to repeat. I am a volunteer. I use 18-pound bows for the archery celebration as a volunteer instructor for Girl Scouts in our area. Girl Scouts. Love the Girl Scouts. There's no boys in the Girl Scouts, is there? Wouldn't it be insane to let a boy be in an organization called Girls? Anyhow, you can ask Ted at America's Voice. So let me answer that once again. Ted Nugent's a radical. I'm an extremist. I don't believe in kings. Historically, that's an extreme, dangerous stand. I don't believe in tyrants or emperors. And all my Japanese friends, the emperor was never a god. He was a little twerp. No, he's not a god. There are no men that are gods. The real God created us in his image and likeness to stand up for truth, logic, and common sense, as outlined in the 10 Commandments, the Golden Rule, the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, the Bill of Rights. Those aren't radical. Those are self-evident truths. They're simple, basic truths. Thou shalt not kill. I could have wrote that. Now, well, then you kill all those animals, and that's not what that's about. There are people that actually say stuff like that. There's a difference between murdering a human and getting pork chops on the hoof. Do I really have to say that? So yes, you need to hammer relentlessly your mayor, your senator, your congressman, your governor's office. Tell them that it is cultural suicide to not demand real identification of American citizenship before you vote in America. And be sure you drop your pants before you defecate. I don't really need to say this, do I? Do I really need to say this? I guess I do. Because the toilet flushing of America is in its final stages. When you watch that debate and you listen to the flow, the nonstop flow of lies from Joe Biden and the Democrats. Every nasty accusation he made against Donald Trump, he's guilty of. Joe Biden is guilty of all the false accusations against Trump. In fact, we're going to get into how they falsely accused me forever. Well, he dissed the Native Americans. Never did. I've never dissed the Native Americans. Now I'm about to, because there are some Native organizations in Michigan that accept the Huffington Post, Rolling Stone magazine lie that I dissed the Native Americans. They know it's a lie, yet still they've banned me from their casinos. They ban me even if they admit that it's a lie that I made nasty comments about Native Americans. So right now, I'm not making a nasty comment. I'm just saying that liars should be held accountable no matter what your ethnicity. I don't care where you come from or what you are or who you are. Honesty is the basis of real, meaningful human communication, which is why the Real America Voice Ted Nugent Spirit Campfire is so effervescent. It's so impacting because I teach more and I share more meaningful information and evidence on my Real America Voice Spirit Campfire than you can find in most schools in America. Notwithstanding my incredible daughter, Louisa, who was Teacher of the Year at a Jewish academy in Houston. She's awesome. And Barb Brocky, Karen Brocky. I know some great teachers. Father Gilgallen, the Dean of Discipline at St. Vitus. I don't really think he was a great teacher. But anyhow, so I'm a great teacher because I genuflect at the altar of evidence to support my belief system that ends up being irrefutable truth, logic, and common sense right here on the Real American Voice Spirit Campfire. So go to centuryh2o.com, centuryh2o.com for treated water to make it delicious and healthy. When you make your Minutemen coffee, go to centuryh2o.com. You want health in life? You want the greatest health you can get? It starts with quality water. centuryh2o.com. I'm telling you, Shemaine and I, all our water is treated. Then we put it in these aluminum cans, and we drink it all day. I don't know where this came from, the Champion Ranch, but boy, this is great water. H2O, centuryh2o.com. I'll be back in just a few moments with more Ted Nugent Spirit of the Wild, Spirit Campfire on Real America's Voice, having so much fun. It ain't right. It ain't right, but I'm going to do it anyway.